I think so. Hi, good afternoon, my friend. Long time no talk.
Hello, my darling. Look at us just popping on.
I know. No, yeah, usually we've been talking for a while. So now we're going to have to catch up with everyone listening.
I know. And Thanksgiving is on the way. And I am so grateful for you. And thank you, all of our listeners today, for just joining us. Lightworkers Unite.
Yes, Lightworkers Unite. Here we go.
Yay. Here we go. Thanksgiving edition.
Lightworkers Unite is a podcast and social show hosted by intuitive women, lightworkers, and most importantly, friends, Mayume and Manjeet. Welcome to our podcast, Lightworkers Unite, where we believe there is a lightworker within all of us.
Whether you are a medium, an educator, or a nuclear medicine technologist, there is a lightworker within you, and we have work to do.
This is a safe and sacred place where lightworkers connect, grow, and learn.
And share our light with the world.
Yeah. I know we are. We're doing it for Thanksgiving. It's in a couple of days, and I agree. I mean, what else could we talk about but gratitude? It just feels like we have to. And so
I know.
I'm grateful for you, my friend. I'm so grateful for for girlfriends, for sisterhood. I know that not everyone out there has sisterhood, and I kind of want to acknowledge that I'm always a little shocked or surprised. I think when I hear that if you talk to someone like, oh yeah, I don't really have a lot of friends, or I didn't have a lot of girlfriends growing up, or they say that I don't have a lot of girlfriends, I have a lot of guy friends, or they have the one friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's okay too. This isn't about quantity, people, but it's but that deep connection with another female, whether it be your sister in blood or in spirit, like you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, thank you. I love that. I agree. And I think, and I know many people that I have that one-on-one sisterhood connection with, and they don't have it with anybody else, or very, very, very few. And I feel like, you and I both have these really deep sisterhood connections with many people, groups of people, like I have my book club ladies, I have a different book club lady, like but it's all this really profound and deep sisterhood. So just wonder like why, but I also feel like I get something different from each group as well, right?
Absolutely.
Like it's not just like that one. I get something very different from, for example, like you and I, our sisterhood is very different than, maybe what I experience in my sisterhood with, the book club ladies, for example, or, it's just this is a very spiritual connection. So I think there's like, we need different things from different people. Yeah.
I totally agree. Where you could have, you have that fun sister or that fun girlfriend, like, okay, I can always count on her to make me laugh. We always do things. We like to, that's active. And then you have the one that you can just hunker in and go to movies and watch TV with, or, and then, but yeah, different groups. I have a lot of different, I'm sure you have the same of group threads, texts.
Yes.
And so everyone's on that one and blah, blah, blah. And so it's great. It's all different. It's all different. I love them. I'm
so grateful for that. Yeah, I know.
Too.
But I also have a lot of girlfriends. It's interesting you're talking about this, that don't have a lot of other girlfriends. So they're always like, Manjeet, I don't know how you do it. Like, how do you have so many? like I'm this like anomaly, But I just love sisterhood. I love
girlfriends.
I love it. I love that. I love that
too.
feeling. And I'm sure it's cyclical and there's no wrong way to do it. So, but what I do love about our sisterhood too is that we offer a lot of spiritual advice to each other.
Yes, it is nice to have that outlet, which kind of leads me to, I have a question and I've been dying to ask you.
Do you like that segue?
I do. It was perfect. Well, because it's true. I cannot ask this of just anyone. There's no way.
Yeah.
I would, there's probably three that I could say, you know what, this happened to me. What do you think? But I do want to speak about this because I'm sure there's a listener out there that has had this happen before. We have spoken about it, I'm pretty sure. And whether it was a house clearing or dreams, Maybe it was a dream episode, but I have all my life had visitors at night. We talk about this, or it's known if you know me. It did slow down once I started to do this work publicly, become, I guess, it's so weird to even say it out loud still, but to really proclaim being an intuitive spiritual medium or a psychic medium, whatever you want to call it. It has caused my nighttime visiting to slow way down. It's almost like no one
Yeah.
needs to wait for the doctor anymore. Like they've been
Yeah.
knocking on my door. So then there was a pause with taking care of my mom, and then they all kind of came back. Well, the other night, I had one of those experiences where I was in the in between. I was not fully awake, but I was definitely not asleep. Now, my physical body, I realized afterwards, was asleep because all of the things that I thought happened didn't happen because I checked with my
Oh,
husband. No,
wow.
that didn't happen.
Oh
Like a
my
converse.
gosh.
Yeah, no, I had a conver. So I had something, an entity. I don't even know, someone appeared at the foot of my bed towards the right. And I realize now the further away I get from this night, the clearer it is when I tap into it. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like at the moment it was clear, but then you wake up and you forget, and then you're like, wait a second, what was that last night? And
Mhm.
honestly, the further away more time goes by, it gets clearer. So
Yeah.
so now I realize it was a male, and it was a dark shadow of a male, but maybe even a boy, because it just
Okay.
felt smaller, shorter, younger, not a man, but a boy, and maybe even like 12. I don't know. That's just coming up for me. A shadow, a silhouette. But at the time, it just felt like energy. And it was in under a dark cloud, a dark shadow. Not that it was dark energy. It just that's how it physically was visible to me as a dark
Sure.
shadow, not like,
Yeah.
that's how it
Yeah.
was.
Like a negative dark, just like
It
a, as in
Yeah, not a
color and
negative.
hue
Yes,
and
yes,
yeah.
hue, shade. It was like, oh, this is like black,
Yes.
brown, or black.
Yeah.
And then something happened that made me yell at it. Again, I don't remember, but something in me,
Mhm.
as I was laying there looking at it, said, no, no. I remember doing this, like, no, like I had to think about it. And then I said,
Oh,
no,
wow.
no, 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 I don't want it. I don't want it. No, thank you. Please, please go. Got to go. So I'm saying this out loud. I think my husband, he can hear me saying this. And then it's not moving, Manjeet. It's just standing there. And I said, wait, in my head, I
Mhm.
was like, no, by spiritual law, I'm saying you have to go. You have to go. So then next thing I know, I'm like, Michael, are you here? Archangel Michael, please come in, bring your fist. I have Archangel Michael come. I feel and sense the fist coming down, boom, and scatter the spirits and scatter this spirit or whatever it was, whatever energy that was there that felt like was trying to get something from me or tell me something. It was trying to communicate or interact. I should say that word. It was interacting, but I didn't want to. And I don't know why, to be honest with you. I
Mhm.
just know that I was very adamant, like, no. And it scared me. And then I remember feeling a little scared that I turned to John and I said, John, I'm scared. And I went into his arms and he opened up his arms and he says, I got you. It's okay. And he was comforting me and I felt comforted. And then I remember Archangel Michael came and it cleared and softened and went away. Okay. Well, none of that shit happened. Like John doesn't remember me saying, "Spirit, get out." I did not come to under his arm. He didn't say I got. He goes, that never happened. None of it. And then when I think back, I'm like, oh my god, it didn't. It didn't physically happen in our human bodies on this plane, but
Wow.
our higher selves, it did. It did. I mean,
Wow.
without a doubt. I
Oh.
went to him and he put his arm around me and said, it's okay, I've got you. So, and it was John.
Oh.
But it was the weirdest thing, Manjeet. It was so real that I remember thinking, even in the moment as I was yelling like out loud, I remember questioning in my brain, am I really speaking out loud? Is it one of those where you
Yeah.
think you're screaming and yelling and no one can hear you? I
Hmm.
remember questioning it, like, am I really doing this? But then it felt so real. It really did. And I woke up that morning going, did that really happen? You know, I mean,
Wow.
so the answer is it happened, but it happened in spirit realm, in the
Yeah.
dimension that I was in with John and whoever this was. And then Michael came in. And so my question is, there's a question. There's actually a
Wow. Oh
question.
my God. No, I love it. I love it.
Um, who do you, well, what do you think that was? Or who do you think now that, because every time I tap into it, it's a male, a young male.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I feel like there's a couple things. I wrote some notes when you were speaking
Thank
because, you
you.
know,
Because that's how
that's
we
how
do it.
I,
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
know. Well, I just wanted to acknowledge the clarity over time because I think sometimes, you know, like a lot of folks out there, especially like I'm doing the ascension model for my multidimensional healing certification people.
Yes.
And this is a common theme of my students. They say
Mm-hmm.
they've had a meditation or they had some kind of visitation and they cannot decipher it right away. And so over time, it has to sit. And I believe that that's part of the process. The
Mm-hmm.
sitting and waiting, that's Metatron sitting with you and helping you shape it. But there's
Mm-hmm.
two pieces to that. It's not just the fact that you're working on the understanding of the message, it's this entity's insistency to be heard.
Correct.
So there's
Yes.
two things happening when, if over time you're going, whoa, I see things getting clearer and clearer. That's
Mm-hmm.
because two things are happening at the same time and it's time to pay attention. So I
Yes.
love that we're talking about this because I know this is happening out there for many,
Uh-huh.
many people that are connecting either in their dream state or in
Or
deep, deep meditation.
deep
Yeah.
meditation. Yes.
So the
With
message, right?
yes.
So then that becomes what is the message and who is this
Mm-hmm.
and what's the message? What is
Mm-hmm.
this, right? The second thing I really wanted to point out is that I love, 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 love that John is your protector. He's
He
like
really
again
was.
and again and
Yeah.
again, he has proven that he is this spiritual protector for you
Mm-hmm.
and in life, right? In
Mm-hmm.
physical body. So I just really had to acknowledge that I love that he had no memory of that, but his higher self was doing all of this with you.
I know that I knew to be true because it was so freaking real.
Yeah.
Like I really slid right under his arm. I
Oh, I
was all
love it.
safe and cozy. You know what I
Makes
mean?
me come like emotional. It's like so
I
awesome
know.
because that's how I see him too, right? Is this, this just really strong anchored man who always has your back, and
Mhm.
um but I'm going to tell you a couple things that came up for me about
Yes,
who this
please.
is. Yeah.
Do you like this, everyone? I'm
Um,
getting read by Manjeet right now.
well, and it's really interesting because before you even told me the story, it felt like somebody speaking to Johnny. It's from Johnny's side. It feels like somebody has something to say to Johnny,
Hmm.
but they're coming to you. And he feels like a brother. Like I don't know. I don't think he has had a brother. He has a brother, but he feels like a brother energy. And I
Interesting.
wonder if it's somebody who has passed on when he was young.
Okay. I
So it
don't know.
feels like
Yeah,
this
I'll have to
young,
ask.
but it feels like it's connected to him. Like,
Okay.
and, because he has passed a while ago, he comes in that dark hue,
Hmm.
you know, but he sees you with him. And so he's like, I'm going to come in because it doesn't feel malicious, but I don't
I
think you were ready for it. Like you
yeah,
just weren't ready. Like,
I agree. It
it
wasn't like fear, like, oh my God, get out. It was much like I remember the pause
you're like,
of
I'm not
no,
I'm
no,
not
never,
here.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it feels like it wasn't like, because you're very in tune with all that. Like, when it's like a fuck off, right?
Yes, yes.
But I think it caught you off guard and it kind of threw you. And so you did what every powerful spiritual practitioner should do
Mhm.
is when you don't have the bandwidth or the capacity to really inquire because you're in dreamland
Yeah,
or in the metastable state,
yeah,
you say no, not now,
yeah, yeah.
and ask for help. And you did all the right things. But it feels like this young brother energy to Johnny that has something to tell him.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it feels like from his father, feels like from his father energy.
Okay.
I don't know.
Which would kind of make sense. I mean, because again, he was to my right, but also at the foot of the bed. I mean, it would kind of like a cousin, maybe. This is interesting. I mean, just in mediumship, when spirit comes in to tell me their relationship to the sitter, they have a place they stand. So that would maybe make sense of where he was. But a lot of times in that dream state, spirit is always at the foot of my bed, right?
Yeah.
And I've had
Yeah.
in instances where they're on Johnny's side, and then I always know it's for him. So in the
Mm.
past, I would oh, this is so weird that we're talking about this and so woo-woo. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Corellis from the East Coast, if you're listening. So I have sometimes in dream state witnessed an entity like working on John on his side of the bed,
Mm.
where I'm just like, oh, got a glimpse of that, but didn't feel frightful or like need to stop it. It wasn't like an alien abduction or anything like that, but where I'd be like, what the hell is going on over there?
Yeah.
And just kind of witnessing it and then it's gone. So but this is different. This isn't a download. This isn't, working. This is more of a departed loved one feel is what you're sensing.
I felt like that. Yeah, right away. But it didn't feel like it was for you. Like it felt like it was for him. So I thought that was interesting when you were telling the
Oh, I just
story that
got
you
something.
asked him for help.
As we're talking, I just got something because I was like, what?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm gonna say, I'll say, I don't know. This is coming up for me right now. So I had a miscarriage before Melina. Um,
Oh.
we didn't have it verified, of course, the sex, but I just knew it was a boy. And I had a medium, Sharon Klinger, Klinger, I say her name wrong. Anyway, Sandra Ann Taylor and Sharon Ann Klinger. She over the radio brought in this. She said, she goes, you had a miscarriage about 16 years ago, which was true at the time, and you have a son in spirit. And I just started bawling because I'd
Oh.
always kind of known that I just knew that soul, that pregnancy was a boy. And she said that the spirit was growing with us, and that happens. And I've been told by spirit who comes in and says, I'm growing with the family still. So it kind
Oh.
of makes sense again of this young man. Like, what if it was the spirit of the soul that was
Oh.
supposed to be our son that's growing with us? If it was supposed to be for John, that would make sense. But yet I'm the mom and I can see him and sense him because where he stands would make sense too. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Well, I
thank you
mean,
for
when
sharing that.
yeah, well,
Such a
I
hard,
oh yeah,
that
miscarriage is
feels,
not fun.
I felt like that feels so right. That feels very
That's it.
cohesive. That it does. Yeah. Like it feels like a young, like a, but he's really connecting with Johnny right now. And I don't know if it's
Because you
like,
fucking need some male energy in this house.
oh, maybe that's it. Oh my God.
Well, I don't
Because
know.
yeah, you'd really,
I'm not joking.
yes,
We're
he
it's
does need it.
so many female. It's all females. All
Yes, I
females.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it. But yes, I'm sure that's part of his and it's interesting because I'm getting all this like interesting wording, like something going on with his job, uh Johnny's job. So some change or like movement in his position, that he feels really supported like by this spirit. Like it's like, he's like, man, you fucking doing it, man. Like so proud of him.
Mhm.
Like it feels like that, like, yeah, like you're the guy. Like, like it
Yeah.
feels like an admiration. Like it feels really
Hmm.
powerful, like admiring of him. Um, so I don't know. I just kept seeing like these spreadsheets and like his job, and I keep seeing this like he's moving up even more. Like he feels like that energy, and they want to celebrate him. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That was another really big piece because it
Mm.
felt like his yeah,
Oh,
like,
we'll take it.
thanks.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take
Like,
that. Yeah.
you're awesome,
That's a,
Dad. You're the best.
I
Like,
mean,
you're the
yeah, if
best.
that's, I mean, that was coming up for me as you were talking, almost like an aha, like, oh yeah. But it could very well be, I mean, it could be his dad. Again, at a younger age, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to
Mhm.
think he's got well, no, those uncles are on. Oh, yeah, he does have a couple uncles on that side, but they would have been so much older. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
an interesting interaction and interesting of how I just was like, no, no, I don't want it now. And then it was
Yeah.
insistent a little bit, like standing firm.
Yeah.
And then I had to bring in immediately. I was like, okay, Archangel Michael, can you clear my space, please? And then I'm just going to go
Yeah.
hide under John's arm. But he was
Oh,
so, it was so real, so, so real, as if I was awake,
yeah.
you
Isn't it
know?
crazy how that is though? Like you just think, wow, like did I do that? Like I feel like I had a full conversation about this. Like this is bizarre. Yeah. And I think that this is like the most powerful thing. It when you are connecting with spirit and spirit wants to connect with you. I don't think, you just weren't ready. Like you weren't, and they were so
Yeah.
strong that, and I wonder, like, they do say spirit children, especially when they haven't actually come through yet, they do come in that hue color, like a shadow, you know?
Oh, I did
So,
not know that, to be honest with you.
yeah,
I'd never heard that
yeah.
before. Huh.
And it can be disarming because we have a predefined perception of a dark entity. And we
Correct.
think, right, we think it is, oh, it's
Yes.
dark. I can't see. It's not clear. It's not the flannel shirt. It's not the things. It's not what we always perceive as being in the light. But these are entities that, you know, they hadn't manifested truly, in on the 3D planet, in a way that we would even recognize. So,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
they're strong though. They're strong entities. They
Yes.
just come in
I
these
was just
hues.
telling a group of women, we were talking about this in a group reading because towards the end of the reading, we always just kind of have conversation. We just talk about, they ask
Yeah.
questions and I ask
Yeah.
spirit. But that is something I just discussed that, hey, if you see something dark, especially children,
Yeah.
I'll get a lot of 10, 11, 12 kids and their moms and dads saying, they saw a dark shadow. And I always say the same thing. Just because it's
Yeah.
in the dark or has the hue, like the shade, or that, it doesn't mean that it's
Yeah.
bad. People think, oh my God, a dark
No.
spirit, because they're expecting white or an angel or with wings, or
Yes,
and oh, this bright
exactly.
light came in my room. And so it is interesting that I had not heard that it was someone that's been gone a long time. And sometimes I feel like it's not human, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Right.
It's not, especially with miscarriage or, anything like that, where they didn't actually breathe,
Mm-hmm.
in this, on this planet, this frequency, this dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they, they don't have, I mean, we don't, they wouldn't know how to show up for us because we wouldn't recognize them anyways,
Right.
So I think what's really powerful, the biggest takeaway here is I think it's not necessarily first, it's what we see,
Yeah.
but then right next to it, we must evaluate how we feel.
Yes.
Because if the
Agreed.
feeling
Agreed.
is like, like you and I've had this before, it's scary. I get the fuck out of here. Like you're a
Mm-hmm.
dark thing and it's a swarmy fucking serpent looking weird fucking crazy thing out.
Yeah.
But it's the feeling that
Right.
does that.
Right.
So I
Exactly.
love that but I think it's hard because in those moments, we rely so heavily on the visuals of what we're seeing in mediumship. And when we're
Yeah. Yeah.
psychically
Yeah.
connecting, that, we also are always feeling, but especially in a dream state, takes a little bit to catch up with how, oh, what I'm
Yeah.
feeling. Okay, I'm not sure. So I just want you to go. And
Yeah.
that's an absolutely powerfully
And
amazing response,
I
I
agree.
think.
And totally okay. And totally
Yes,
okay. As
100%.
opposed to like, oh. hi, who are you?
Yeah,
You
no,
know, I
exactly.
didn't
Yeah. If you,
feel like that. And who knows, maybe I was exhausted. I don't know. It just felt like unknown. And but I did sense that I thought about it. Like there was a little
yeah.
hesitation. And then I was like, nope, no.
Mhm.
So who
Well,
knows? It was really
would
cool.
you want to reconnect with him?
Well, I
This
thought about that, but I
maybe?
wanted to ask you
Yeah.
first to see, was it a serpent? Like what does
I
Manjeet
don't
see?
know.
Yeah. And
I
it,
think
and I
based on
just was
your,
curious. Yeah.
yeah, I think based on your feeling and of it not being malicious,
Yeah.
and the fact that they're so insistent that they're actually still trying to manifest with you on this plane.
Hmm.
Um, I know that you were very trained, and if anybody could go back to that moment
Yeah.
and but light and love have all of your guardians. I'm seeing all of your powerful entities around you, and then just say, come forward. What is your message? What is your message? And that's it.
Right.
Very neutral, very, but love and light. Yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a lot of conversations happen at night, but
Yeah.
I just was not
Well,
like,
I
whatever. It
think
was
this
so
one might not
weird.
be in like at night. I'm thinking doing this during the day in
Oh, yeah. Like in a
meditation. Yeah.
meditation. Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Not like, because otherwise we're not
Well, I
in
don't
full.
really, I feel like I can get plenty of messages in meditation and
Yes.
in a reading, like when I set
Hmm.
the ceremony, lit the candle, did the invocation and bring spirit in, then I can get messages and see things.
Yeah.
And so I could do that. But you're right, in that dream state, it's a whole different realm.
Yeah.
And that's
It
why I
is.
was out of my body. Clearly, I wasn't using my physical form. I was just my higher
Yeah.
self talking to John's higher self. And so that's why I was like, I don't want to be in that little in between
No. Because
realm.
it's about, I think, control, isn't it? Like
Yeah. Oh,
when you do
yeah.
this work and you're connecting with spirit intuitively, we must feel control. And that's not a negative thing. Like people say, oh, you're so controlling, that people have this, connotation around being controlling. But
Yeah.
this is about being in charge of your full power. And
Yes.
this is how we stay in an integrity, actually, with
Hmm.
spirit, is when we have control and we're saying, this is a situation I'm not in control of. I feel a little discombobulated. I'm out. That is the highest integrity that you can have,
Hmm.
as a spiritual practitioner. And that's where I think that's why you're such a badass. You did that. You said, I'm not there.
Oh,
I
no,
don't
thanks.
really have, you're not in your full control, you
Yeah,
know?
no, I
Yeah.
didn't
We
feel it.
need
It
that.
was, yeah. Yeah, interesting. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much. I was
Oh,
so curious. I got to talk to Manjeet about this. Yeah,
oh,
and
it's
want to have you
fascinating.
lovely listeners join in and listen to the
Yeah. Well, because I
night
wonder,
stories
right?
of Mayum Corelli. Oh boy, so many things that go on in the middle of the night. It's so crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's a really it's an interesting thing when, especially when people are like a lot of our listeners, we're in the light. We're trying to work in the light, and we're being very conscious about, you know, how do we work with spirit or trust our intuition and connect with our guides, but do it in a way that we don't feel victimized by that. We don't feel, we need to feel in control of those things.
Always.
And I think this is a big part of what we do, and what we want to really fucking hit home is that
Mhm.
you are always in control.
Always. Always, always,
Right.
always. And to remember that because it is easy to
Yeah.
forget. I mean, even myself in that state knew that I knew I could call upon Archangel Michael if I felt in any way like this, like I couldn't do it myself. And so,
Mm,
even if that power or that control is calling upon Archangel Michael, I tell my clients a lot of this and kids too. And it was taught to me like, oh, absolutely. You just bring him in, he will clear it
mm.
for you automatically. So I've done that for 30 years,
Oh, I
and
love
so
it.
it was definitely one of those situations where I'm like, I don't think I'm in my body right now. So I'm going to have him do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna
and
have
that's
him
a
clear that shit. Yeah.
have him take care of this shit because I'm out. Yeah. And this
Yeah.
is a beautiful thing. We can, and this might be a really cool question for our audience is, who is that divine protector for you?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's really important to have that name on the top of your head all the time, right? So
Agreed.
let's, maybe in the comments, in our podcast, write down who are those sovereign entities that you can call on for protection in those moments of great fear, you know?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's a great one. Who do you call upon?
you know. Um, I have a couple. I think in my darkest fear, I recite a prayer in Sikhism. It's
Mm.
our first like psalm, the first
Yeah.
prayer. And I always see Guru Nanak and Guru Gobind Singh, which are they're two disciples, of our faith. And so they're just Guru Nanak is he's like the main guru. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
and he's just a poet and beautiful and kind and I just always see his beautiful face in front of me when I feel scared, especially when I'm scared.
Mm.
And then the next is Guru Gobind Singh. He is like a warrior, so he's the one with the sword and fights. Like he's
Yeah.
not afraid to fight the demons of the world, and so he's kind of like I don't know, the Indian Archangel Michael. Like he's kind of
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
So he's got a
I
very
love it.
strong energy. Yeah, and a lot of people really connect with him for warding off negative energy and fear.
In
And
fear.
so with
Yeah.
with one kindness and the other one's a warrior, they're kind of really powerful together.
Yeah. I
And then
agree.
of course, Metatron is like my big guy. That's the one of the
Yeah.
more powerful ones for me. And I'm feeling,
Who's an archangel? So
yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, which
Perfect.
I didn't know at the time when I
Right.
connected with him, right? I had no
Right.
clue. Because he came to me in a different form.
Yeah.
And yeah, Enoch was the name.
Yes.
And so I did a lot of research and then I found out that it's the same person. I mean,
Wild.
and this is the cool thing, right? About discovering and doing this kind of work, this soul searching work. And it's called, you know, this is our spiritual protection practice. What is that? What does it look like for you? You know, and bringing these beautiful entities, calling them forward, asking for help. It's everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that Johnny was there for you.
I know. It was great. Yeah. No, it
You
was. I
know?
felt I do. Well, I do turn him to him for grounding. I think we've talked about this before. If I do sense anything crazy, I usually do take my left hand and touch him, like just to anchor myself, because his energy will help ground me immediately. But this was different. Like I spoke to him and I said, kind of
Wow.
like, I'm scared, help me. And he's like, I got
Wow.
you, opened his arm and I folded in very, so it felt so real, like physically real. And then to find out, nope, that never happened. Like,
Oh my
wow,
God.
jeez, okay. So real.
I,
Crazy, right?
Johnny must just be like laughing his ass. Okay.
Oh, he
Johnny
used
must
to
just
for
be
so long, but yeah, until he saw spirit and said, "Get the fuck out." And I,
yeah. I love
oh,
that story. I
I
know.
love that. He's like, "Hume, that was not warm and fuzzy." He immediately had
Oh,
like feet, like a yucky feeling.
wow.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I'm like, dang it, you didn't get
wow.
an angel instead. I mean, please,
I
what a
know, right?
shame.
Yeah. Just how the spirit world rolls.
I know, I know.
I don't know. Yeah. I know.
It's so funny.
I'm protecting. So how do you protect yourself before you go to bed since you've been having kind of these
Since they're back, the visitors are kind of been coming back, which I kind
yeah,
of like. I have to be honest. I do like it because I
yeah.
feel like I think it stopped, well, one, because of my work and just letting me rest. not to say that we're not continuing to have downloads and information, and my spirit is still traveling, like we're all traveling. I always wonder how many of us are astral traveling to the Ukraine, right now in support there. I just feel and sense that my body and my spiritual body needs rest. So when now that it's kind of coming back, I kind of like it. But what I've always done, and it was taught to me, it was told to me to do this. And so I did. And then I went to Celebrate Your Life back in 2000, I don't know, I guess it was 19 maybe. And that's when I found out that Sunny Dawn Johnston also does the same thing. And I don't know, I didn't know her from Adam. And she works with Archangel
Or
Michael.
Eve.
Or I didn't know from Adam and Eve. And she had an older woman that was her mother's friend. And this was down like, underground mediums working that no one ever talked about it, like any of the woo-woo stuff. And so you didn't talk about it, but she came over to the house to do a house clearing. And I put a bubble, and this is what this woman did, put Archangel Michael's blue light energy as like I call it a snow globe, a dome of blue light over my house. And sometimes
Perfect.
I'll specifically mention each family member's name of who I want to be specifically protected and to sleep well tonight. Like no dreams, no visits, no downloads, just, and I'll kind of go through it. And no matter what, I start with, myself, my husband, my children, right? The core. And then you kind of go, well, and then there's my mom. Okay. Then my brothers, and well, then their kids. And then, well, might as well do their wives. And then, and next thing I know, I'm doing, well, then what about my bestie? So it just, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, fine. Everyone that I love, put a light.
Yeah, you're under the umbrella.
You're
okay?
under the blue umbrella. I do. There's some nights
it.
where I find it just does that. It goes like dominoes. I'm like, do them all. And then some, it's just my core. It's just this house. Nothing is to bother us tonight. Just to protect her. So it was interesting. It was that story of Sunny Dawn Johnston's story. Johnston, right? Sunny Dawn Johnston. Is it a T in there, right? I'm drawing a blank. Okay. So she's a psychic medium, author, speaker. She's fantastic. And so she lives in the Phoenix area. And she told a story in one of her workshops of how she was like 14 and this weird woman came to the house and had them hold hands in a circle. And she had a 5-year-old brother who was outside on his big wheel or something, didn't need her mom was like, he doesn't need any part of it. But she said she never used to see things, but her little brother used to see things, right? That she always talked about that. And this woman is holding hands and they have their eyes closed. And she said she invoked Archangel Michael, asked him to come in. He's here right now. And then Sunny would open one eye to say, look around. I don't see anyone, especially when there's he's here right now. And he's putting a protection field over the house in his blue light. Yeah. She heard this and she's looking around with her one eye open going, I don't see jack shit. So, I mean, she even kind of talked about yeah, whatever, old lady. And so it was all said and done. The ceremony was done because something was going on in the house. And her little brother comes in, Mom, there's a blue light over the house. He saw it. He comes in, a little 5-year-old. There's this blue light over the house. And then that's when Sunny was like, holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. Wild.
Damn.
Yeah.
It is a Johnston. Sunny Dawn Johnston. Yes.
I thought so. But then how you start saying it and you're like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
So cool.
Yeah. I love that
story.
Yeah. I loved it too. So that's what I do. And that I did that before I heard her story.
Oh, I love it. I know, cool? That's the universal consciousness, isn't it? I mean, that's just
validating for me. Yeah. Telling us.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you. Yeah.
Yeah. So many different cultures use that referencing, right?
Yeah.
It's not just you do it everywhere, all over the world, indigenous people have been doing that for centuries, right? Different kinds of protection practices. And they see all this, they believe in that. They believe in the energy vortexes. And it's pretty cool when things I feel that way about archaeology when, you see the same symbols in caves all across the world that have, so I love that. I love it when we find those connections, those little pieces of like, oh,
I
this
know
is
it's
the universal
wild.
law. It's a universal consciousness saying this is it. This is one way that we can create, peace and joy and harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I know we do that too in our house clearings is sound energy for clearing. Yeah. And we do the
Yeah.
visuals, but I think sometimes
Oh,
there's so much
yeah.
like we'll be like, oh man, we need some root chakra up in this bitch.
Yeah.
Stat.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting thing, isn't it? Like certain rooms need a certain frequency
A certain
almost.
frequency.
Do you think?
Exactly. Yeah. And I always wonder if that's because to bring it into balance, like it
Mhm.
must be like, why is this person's body? Obviously,
Yeah.
to me, that's about balance. But what's the difference whether it's your physical form or if it's a physical space, of
Yeah.
energy, so that you walk in, you're like, woo, woo, this needs some balance here. I'm feeling that this
Yeah.
frequency, this color, this vibration is needed. So yeah. And I
Yeah.
think all homes need a good clearing, clearing and blessing,
Mm,
an intention,
yes.
right? That says,
Hmm.
hey, only love and light live in this house. And
Yes.
we maintain it. So we've talked about this before where and it was Sunny Dawn Johnston that taught me this. It's so fun that we're speaking about her right now. We might need to
I
have her as a guest.
know.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm serious. Like, I'm like, wait a second. She's the one who taught me this about,
That's so crazy.
about
That,
protection. Mhm.
mhm,
She's the one who said protection might have a low vibrational connotation toward it because I got to protect myself almost
mhm,
instills that I'm in fear mode. She says instead of protect, maintain. So she
mhm,
taught me the word maintain, and I resonate with that so firmly because then it's like
mhm.
I maintain my power. I'm stepping in
Yeah.
my power. These boundaries, this bubble that I'm putting up I'm maintaining my energy in my space, and you can't come in here. I just feel like
Mm,
that's so strong. So we've talked about this before, but it is her. She's the one
yeah.
who
I love that.
introduced that. And I thought so I kind of switched it instead of protect, please let us maintain our power and space. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever that word is, right? Isn't it funny? Because
Yeah.
it's a frequency.
It is. Yeah.
All it is, right? Words are just frequency. So whatever resonates with you, whatever clicks, if it is a boundary or protection or um, control or, maintain or,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I love that. I love that. It's so cool. Yeah, we definitely need to have her on this
I
show.
think so. I feel like we might have to.
We have
Yeah.
a lot of people we need to go. It's gonna
I
be
know.
so
So
fun.
let's talk
This
about
next
that.
season.
Yes, 2024, you guys, is going to be a very
Mhm.
different season. Even though we've started season 4 in September, because that's kind of our start date was always in September. I
Right.
really
Mhm.
do think our listeners or listener, whoever you are out there, uh, male or female, uh, need to know that we are bringing on more guests and people that we might feel have a story to tell that would be fascinating or that people need to hear. Yes, they could maybe be an expert, in their field, but not necessarily. They don't have to be famous or have, you know, published a book per se, but definitely someone we feel that we're supposed to have and
Yeah.
resonate with our listeners that our listeners would want to hear from. I
Yeah.
think it'll
If you're
be
a light worker,
awesome.
that's
Exactly.
what
We're trying to
matters,
bring,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Only if you're a light worker.
Yeah. Oh, that's the only
That's the
criteria.
only thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You're
You
all
can't be
light
an
workers out there.
asshole.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Listen, you're either a light worker or an asshole.
Or you're not.
So,
Yeah. You're either a light worker or a cocksucker.
oh,
No, one or the other. Choose wisely. Sorry, I don't know
they
what happened.
bleep.
Sorry, I
No,
just
that's fine. We will leave that. We'll leave that right where it is.
no, but yeah, I mean, I think there's so many
That should be a quote on
beautiful,
the back of our, yeah. We
yeah.
should have
Don't you
that on
think?
a coaster. You're either a light
Fuck
worker
yeah,
or
or
I
a
can't even say
cocksucker. You choose wisely. That's how that goes. Choose wisely, okay, people. That's all I'm asking. It's all we're asking here in Lightworkers Unite. Just choose fucking wisely. Okay. Because that shit sticks around. That's a frequency you don't want to be around.
Oh, but
And
the
nobody wants to be
laughter,
around.
and nobody wants to be around a cocksucker. Sorry. It just like, I can't even believe this is. So what'd you do today, honey? Well, we talked about light workers versus, yeah, no.
Yes. I know. See, say it. Oh my gosh. This is so funny. See, this is how it is. I'm a pusher. I'm a Mayume
It's
pusher
like I
today.
can. I swear all the time, but it's just like sometimes I'm like, well, wait a second. Who's our demographic? Who's listening?
And
I
I
love it.
obviously don't give a shit at
I
this
know
point. Look
it's
at me. I'm just like,
fantastic.
let
What?
her out. We're
I
letting her go.
love it. I love it.
I know. Well, this is so
Oh,
fun.
so fun. And so Thanksgiving, and
Mhm.
I think that we should at least maybe talk about things that we're grateful for. Three things. Boom, 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 boom. And
Yeah.
we'll end the show like that. What do
Oh,
you think?
oh yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yes, we could do that. What am I? Okay. What do you want to start? I'm at a block right now.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
You're at a block. Well, she's covering her face, you guys. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so let me see. Let's narrow it down to categories. So let's
Okay.
do this. We've played this game before. Let's give one thing about our physical body that we're grateful for. So we give
Okay.
our vessel some love. And
Mm,
let's say something about our home, like where we live, whether it's our physical space or the neighborhood we live in. So our home, okay, home covers a broad range. And then how about family and work?
okay.
So basically
Wow.
that's four. Body, so self, family, work, space, or home.
Okay. All right.
Say anything? Is
Yeah.
that okay?
Let's do the first one. Physical. Let's do
Mhm.
that. I
Okay.
know that one. um, I'm gonna say that I am very grateful for my boobies,
Yay.
my beautiful breastises. Um, as a breast cancer survivor,
Mhm.
and thriver.
Yes.
It can
Here,
be a
here.
very scary journey. And I'm just very grateful for the light and the love that they, um, you know, bring me to my life and how they are fucking magical healers. So
Yeah.
I am very grateful for that
I
right
love
now,
that.
especially. Yes.
I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. I just feel like if you want to shoot some bright white light up in my titties, please go for
Yeah.
it. I will
We
take
should
it.
do that. We should do that. All the titties out there that need some love and light. Yeah.
Yes. 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 This is a beautiful part of our sovereignty as women and power. And they fed my babies and just really grateful. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we females should be. Yes, I feel that way about also the breast. They really did. It's the kind of miracle workers of what they do for our babies. Well, that's interesting because
Yeah.
what comes up for me that I don't know why I kind of just went, I think there's a few things that I could be grateful for, but one that popped up for me right now is lungs. And that is so interesting because it is right there next to the boobies. It is, all
Yes.
there is breath and oxygen and breathing.
Yes.
And I just feel like sometimes I'll catch myself holding my breath, whether because of stress or anger or whatever's going on in my world. And I'm just so thankful. I keep picturing myself like on this giant, enormous cliff, like this hillside mountaintop with a beautiful view of the vast valley and river and mountains and how the air is just crisp and cold. And I like want to almost drink it in and fill my lungs. So I'm so
Love
grateful that
that.
my lungs are strong enough to bring in oxygen to fuel my body, I guess, the rest of the vessel.
Mm,
I just
I
feel like
love
I'm
that.
just, yeah. So I think I've been connecting now. We talked about elements before. And water's usually my element, but I've been gravitating first time
Oh,
ever
yes.
to air. Isn't that
Wow.
wild? Like I've
I
never,
love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just find it really interesting because I would think air, as you know, and oxygen like ignites the fire, right? As opposed to the
Yes.
cooling off and unless it's windy,
And it also
you know?
extinguishes fire. Yeah, it can extinguish it too. It's very
Yes,
powerful.
it
Yeah.
can definitely, but it's really, I'm connected to air right now. So hence the gratitude
Yeah.
for my lungs.
I
Breath.
love that. Yeah. Yeah, I've always been connected with them.
Mhm.
Water as well. It's like a connector with us, but the last 5 years have all been about earth grounding and Gaia to the
Yeah.
point when, remember, we were in Tulum. Um, Maya said, "You are the earth element." And I was like, "What?
Yeah. You're like,
Really?"
no, I'm
Like, remember
water.
that? I
Yeah.
thought it was
Yes.
water, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not. But it was interesting because she's right. I have been really grounding and getting nutrients from her and feeling strong. And I think when you go through cancer, right, you do that. Like, or
Uh-huh.
I do.
Yeah.
I needed to find a way that I could be anchored on this planet, in a
Uh-huh.
safe way in this body, this mortal body. Yeah, very cool. Air. Okay, lungs and boobs. All right.
Yes.
How about home? What are you grateful for your home right now?
Right
Maybe
now,
come. Do
um,
you have some?
well, I see, and I'm going to go into the house. I'm very grateful for our physical house, our home. There's something very comforting about it, especially during this time of year when I use the fireplace. And given it's not a real fire, everyone, it's a propane. So there is a flick of the switch. It's very easy, but it's
Yeah.
instant flame and it's instant warmth. And there's the fire element. I really love the heat of it. And I just
Mm.
love the way it feels in the home. So I've been really thankful for the coziness of our home right now during these
Mm.
cold, dark nights because of the time change. So I
Yes.
would probably say that. That's so interesting because then that's fire. Lungs,
Oh,
air,
yeah.
and then I'm saying the home and the
Fire.
fireplace, which is the
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, I've just been really so thankful that I have a home with a roof and
Oh,
warmth
wow.
and family and love. Like I'm safe inside. I just feel that
Oh, I
cozy.
love that.
Yeah,
Yes, cozy. Yeah, I think that's mine for home as well, is just cozy. Because
cozy.
yeah, it was so funny you said that. I was like, yeah, I just feel like so lucky. I can just cuddle up in a big blanket and,
Yes.
watch a show and do some work. And,
Yep.
it feels so, yeah, we are very blessed, very lucky. I do love my home. It's my sanctuary for sure.
Mhm. Yes, so important.
Yes. So thank you, home, our beautiful
Thank you,
structure,
home.
just
Yeah.
generally. So family. Ooh, what do we got for family?
Well, that's hard because again, I start with, oh, my husband, my children, my mom, my dad, my cousins, my brothers, their children. I just go blah, 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 and it just goes on and on. So obviously family, but I'm gonna absolutely, so I have a couple and I'm gonna just say it. So I'm really grateful for the fact that I have my two girls home from college. So that I'm grateful for
Yay.
our five, the core five is home
Yeah.
together. I really do love that. Really love that. And that
So
even
cool.
includes my brother's daughter, Madison, who I just picked up today at the airport. So she's home too. So I love the family coming home for the holidays. I just am so grateful for them coming home
No.
and being together. But I have to point out my husband right now, since he's
Hmm.
my guardian and protector.
Oh, your protector. Yes, I love that. Yeah, I love that. Um, yeah, family's hard too, because yeah, I think we have such a powerful network of people that have, pray for us, take care of us, help us, feed us, so, our souls and bring us positivity. Um, I think I'm just really grateful for my mom and dad right now. You
Yeah, I
know,
love that too. Yeah.
yeah, I think they're just their unending support and positivity. Like my parents are really fucking positive. They've really always look for the good and I just really admire them, and they just know how to show up for people, and they love me so much. And I just really, really have felt that a lot. And they're getting older and
Yeah.
slower, and but they still, and they're funny as fuck. They are so funny. Did I tell you this?
Uh,
So I had a, mammogram and ended up having a little biopsy, a little bit of a scare. Um, everything was okay. We're still in the middle of all that, but it's been a bit of a rough couple of weeks. And I was in the biopsy room and I've got the tack and I'm squeezing her hand because I'm a fucking it's painful. And the
oh,
doctor's over here, the radiologist doing this biopsy, and my dad texts me. And she just before she goes in, she's like, "Did you want to check your messages just real quick?" Because my phone is blowing up, of course, the people that I love that are telling me, "Man, you're gonna be fine, you're okay." And my dad texts me and he goes, "Manjeet, everything's gonna be okay. I love you. I'm with you today." And I said, "Thanks, Dad. I'm going into my appointment right now." And he goes, "LOL."
oh, is it supposed to be lots of love or like, oh, yeah, not laugh out
Yeah,
loud?
I just, it's something's lost in the translation though.
Yes.
So I'm
Oh,
like,
LOL.
LOL, oh, LOL. And of course, I'm like fucking burst out
Laughing.
laughing
I
because,
love
my
it.
dad is no clue, my little Indian dad, texting,
Uh, LOL.
LOL, good luck on
Yes.
the biopsy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, it was just so, haha, so funny, I was
Oh,
just
that's
dying.
good. That's
It was
good.
just so cute. Yeah.
That's
So
so
I
good.
love them. And I love that, I love my family. I love all of you so much for just really, just always supporting me and my family and the things that matter to me. So
Here,
thanks,
here.
Mom and Dad. Yeah.
Oh,
That was a
thanks.
long answer. Sorry.
No, it wasn't. It was beautiful. It was raw and it's truth.
Mm.
And I'm sure other people feel the same way, right? As we're asking ourselves this, you guys, we're asking our listeners to ask yourself what you're grateful for in these same categories
Yeah.
and proclaim it,
Yeah.
declare it, say it. Ask,
Yes.
take this home to dinner tonight and ask your people, maybe on Thanksgiving Day, do the same things with
Oh,
all the things you're grateful
yes.
for.
I love that. What a beautiful tradition, too,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
be clear about what is it that you're really grateful for and
Yeah.
not just walking through the motions of a holiday, right? It's
Yeah.
yeah. All right. What about work?
Yeah. Is it really work? Do we,
I
is
know.
this
Oh
what
my
we do
gosh,
really,
no.
really
We don't do
work?
work.
It's not work. This isn't work. I don't feel like it's work. We call it work. I'll
No.
say like, oh, I'm still working. But you know what? It's just that word. It's not, it's our passion.
Mm,
It's our calling. Um, I do feel that it's
yeah.
not a job. It's not a career. It's a calling. That's what I
Oh, I
feel
love
like.
that.
It's a calling. So I'm really grateful for Spirit because Spirit's my partner. Spirit
Oh,
shows up in my daily job, my daily work.
oh,
Spirit just, and I always ask, please show up.
oh,
Please give this person what they need. So I am really grateful for that beautiful plane of departed loved ones' souls, those humans that actually, I believe, I know for a fact, find me. They connect me to their loved one.
yeah.
They make that happen. That's all synchronicity. That is, so they may think, oh yeah, a friend told me about you, or I saw you, or I read you, or blah 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 blah. It's no, Spirit arranged it. Their loved one
Yeah.
says, I want Mayume to deliver my message. And
No,
you can
I
have more than
love
one
it.
medium, obviously, but I just feel like it's all divine. And so I want to say thank you, Spirit, for working with me.
Oh, I love it. That's what I feel like this little soul was in your dream. It was a
Mm,
message for Johnny. I, I keep seeing it over and over
yeah,
again.
this little,
It's somebody on his side that's coming through. Just,
okay.
I mean, it
I'll
could
ask.
be yours, you're together,
Could
your
be. I
son,
mean,
but
that's what, yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
We'll figure that out.
that's interesting. Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna do some research.
Yes. Well, yeah,
Oh,
I am. I'm gonna do the
I love
meditation.
that. Mm.
So,
As you were
so,
saying that, it was like you were saying, I love getting messages from spirit. And I was
uh-huh,
like, oh
uh-huh.
my God, was that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Fascinating. Okay. So to be
So for
continued on
you,
that.
yes, to be continued.
Yes.
You, my
Well,
friend?
yes, I think I I do I love I just love serving. I love being in service. Seva
Mhm.
is the Indian word for compassionate service, seva.
I love
And
that.
that's what I love about my work and all
Mm.
the worlds that I do work in. I'm as a nuclear medicine tech, as a business
Yes.
owner, as a intuitive life coach, and as a podcast host with you. That's just the arching umbrella is you okay?
Yep.
Oh,
Keep going. Sorry.
again, for those who didn't see,
My rock. I've
oh,
been holding this rock. Get the fuck out of here.
oh my God, we're holding the same rock.
Are you fucking kidding me? And it literally slipped and I caught it with my boobies.
Oh my
Hold
God,
on
are
a
you kidding
second.
me?
No, I'm not. And maybe I dropped it so that we could talk about the fact that we're holding the same rock.
Holy shit.
What the
It's like a
hell?
blue agate.
Yes.
What the
Yes,
hell?
it's
Okay.
blue agate.
Holy shit. That is
Whoa.
bizarre. Okay. Wow.
Whoa, I got
Okay.
chills. Oh my God.
Just as I was saying, I have this beautiful, sweet soul sister that's a big part of my work, which is not work. It's just I get to hang out with my bestie and I get to just fucking talk about all the coolest things and
Yeah.
hopefully provide healing and communication.
Yes.
And we're holding the same fucking rock. I
I
can't believe
can't even
that.
believe it right now.
Why
Look
are
at
we
this.
doing that?
I don't know. But I
Thank
mean,
you.
I don't usually hold a rock during podcasting either.
No, me neither. Not at all, ever.
What the
But
actual F?
wow. Okay.
Okay, we have to
Well,
take a screenshot of
so
this and show
okay, it's
people. This
coming
is
going on the
bizarre.
instas.
It's just what? I'm kind of like, and see,
Did you
yours
do
is
it?
in the light, so yours doesn't look as blue, but when you get to see now it does. Look at that.
Oh, there.
Look at
Oh,
that. I know.
I lost it. Sorry. This is a
Oh
funny podcast
my.
because we might have
Oh
to put this on the YouTubes because
yeah.
this is crazy. Jesus.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay, we'll
So,
get before we close, we'll get a picture of
yeah,
this. Send it to
we
me.
will.
Crazy.
Oh,
I was
well, I
actually
love.
holding it with the intention of helping you. It was for you, actually. I mean, I
Oh,
don't know. I had it here. I saw it and I was like, I'm going to hold it during this podcast. And it was for
oh,
trauma, to be honest with you, that this is, to hold it for trauma. And I just was holding it, sending you love for
oh,
your
thank you.
breastises.
Yeah,
So yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And next week I get some results this week. So
Yeah.
we should
Everyone
be able to
send
have.
beautiful, positive love and light energy. It's all going to be okay. I already know this.
Yeah.
We know it. We just need the doctors to give her it on paper. It needs to be documented.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's what
that's
that's
we're
what we're
just waiting
sending out there
for.
for sure.
We
It is.
already
And
know.
so our next podcast, I would love to talk a little more about what's been going on. It's just
Yeah.
right
People
now.
want to know. They want to
Yeah.
know about our Manjeet. Yeah. It's good.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I'm so grateful. I feel empowered and strong and even in these times of fear, right, we get to embrace gratitude and let that be the mover of our momentum, right? We can
Yes.
very easily live in fear of the unknown. And I'm so grateful I have so many strong people around me that say, okay, man, stop disaster baiting, stop,
Yes.
don't go there, just stop, and just go
There's
into
no plan B. There's no,
yeah.
we're not planning doom. I just,
No, me and my medical mind. I'm like, okay, so plan
okay. Yeah.
C,
Yeah. Yeah. That's not
C,
happening.
A1, A2,
Oh my
3B.
God. You're so
Oh,
good. No,
fuck. I
it's
know.
all
And I
happening.
know
It's all good.
there are people out there who can relate to all of that. So
We're
thank
sending you
you.
so much love. So much
I'm
love.
so grateful for
I'm
all
so
of you listening as well.
grateful.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
Thanks,
happy
everyone. Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, everyone. We'll talk next week. All my
We
love.
will. We
Okay.
will. Mwah.
Bye, man. Talk to you later.
Namaste. Bye,
Bye.
honey. Love you.
Love you.